All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Jordy's Basement. My name is Jordan, and today we have the beginning of something pretty fun and special for us. We're going to be doing a series of videos here, counting down some discographies, and we're going to be doing it with our good friend Rob out in Iowa. Hello, Rob.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to the basement, man. Rob is somebody who I've never met in person, but somebody that I share very close musical brethren with. We are both very much in tune with each other's musical tastes. We have a lot of the same loves with music and prog rock and hard rock and metal and everything. But one thing I found interesting about that is that we even though we have the same love of the same bands, we have sort of a different opinion of the greatest versus the least greatest. And I thought it would be kind of cool to get on here and create a video for different bands. And today we're going to be starting with Transatlantic and start a conversation in the comments below. So certainly this is what this is meant to do, to cause some conversation and happy debate. And so I'm really excited to do this with Rob and really get to learn his musical taste better, etc. Rob, by the way, is also one half of the prog rock band Liberty's Exiles. You should definitely check them out. I'll put a link down below after when we post. So if you're interested, please do check it out. There's like, what, 20 albums or something out there?
Something like that. There's a lot.
A lot. So it's a healthy discography. Go check them out for sure. Liberty's Exiles. So today we're going to do Transatlantic. And the way we're going to do this is, Rob and I both agree that best to worst is kind of a bad term. And we're going to be talking about bands that have a ton of talent. There really isn't a bad album out there. And so we think it's kind of misleading. So we're going to be doing it from, we called it from least listened to the most listened to. So the least great to the greatest of great. And we'll be counting them down that way. And we're going to start with a smaller one today with Transatlantic. We'll be moving up in size until we get to the Dream Theaters and the Rushes of the world. That's down the line. Those make my head explode just thinking about them. But today we're going to do Transatlantic. Transatlantic has really six albums we'll be counting down. We're counting The Absolute Universe, their most recent release, as two. Just so you know, The Breath of Life and Forevermore are considered separate because there's so much material there. It's just easier to do it that way. So what we'll do is we'll just go back and forth. We're doing just studio albums, no live, no B-sides, no greatest hits, no bootlegs, none of that stuff. It's only studio releases for these videos. So thank you again for joining, and we're going to get started. Rob, I'm going to throw it to you for your number 6, Transatlantic.
Ooh, this one might hurt you, sir. Number 6, the debut.
Wow.
Little glare there. Something has to be at the bottom of the pile, and this is the one I listen to the least. Fantastic album. I mean, I love it, but it's just at the bottom of my pile.
Cool. Yeah, that is a surprise. It's we'll find out more about my opinion on that one a little bit later, but yeah, it is. I mean, I remember when that album came out, it was. I agree with you. I mean, you still say it's a great album, but when it came out, it was like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah.
Right.
Played the hell out of it when it came out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing him live with our friend Richard in Philly. I think it was the TLA. That was phenomenal. Yeah.
No one like this comes anywhere near me. We get Garth Brooks.
You're in Iowa.
And Lizzo, whoever Lizzo is.
Safe to say we won't be counting down those top albums anytime soon.
I don't have any of them.
My number 6 is this one. This is Kaleidoscope from 2014, the band's 4th album. And again, like you said, something has to be at the bottom. I feel like the bookend epics, Into the Blue and Kaleidoscope, don't work as well as say they do on Bridge. I think it's a cool concept, but neither of those, Into the Blue specifically, I find to be the weakest of the epics, specifically the Transatlantic. Kaleidoscope I find a lot better, more cohesive. The Sandwich Tunes, Black as the Sky is a phenomenal rocker. Shine's a good ballad. I do like the album, and ironically, I think the best part of this album is actually on the bonus disc. They do an incredible version of Conquistador with Procol Harum, which if it's not on the vinyl, but if you can get the disc, that it's incredible. Transatlantic has always done really cool bonus material, but specifically Conquistador on this one. And yeah, I mean, something has to be at the bottom, like you said, and for me, it's Kaleidoscope. Even though I do think the artwork is the best. I love the green. It's hard to see,
I love it.
But it's just really cool. The green of the package is very, very cool. So that's number 6 for me. What's number 5 for you?
Forevermore. Absolute Universe. It doesn't flow as well as the single disc for me. Great album. I love the songs. I wish The World We Used to Know would have been on, the one disc, because just best song from the set. But just doesn't flow for me as well as the one disc version.
Very interesting. I am also going to the Absolute Universe for number 5. I didn't want to break it out. I know you have this too. It's part of this gargantuan set. But my number 5 is The Breath of Life, the single
Wow.
disc version. It's not much of a difference. It's their 5th album, 2021. It's still 64 minutes of music compared to the 90 that was Forevermore. I just felt like Forevermore was more of a complete listen. I hear what you're saying. It's more compact. That's a good point. But for me, if I'm going to reach for the album, and that's what we're talking about, which one are you going to reach for? I'm going for the whole shebang. I'm going with Forevermore. But The Breath of Life is still very, very, very good. And yeah, the overtures, one of the better overtures. Terrific. One of the problems with, if you're going to get the vinyl anyway, is the packaging with Radiant. Even though the outside box is good, all of the Radiant stuff, including the aforementioned Kaleidoscope, seam splits. Radiant doesn't do a great job in producing their vinyl packaging. I think they could do a better job there. So if you're thinking about getting the physical copies, unless you have to have the vinyl, the CDs are going to last longer. They'll probably be just as good. So, and plus you get the bonus content. But yeah, for me, number 5 is The Breath of Life. How about number 4?
This was tough. It was real tough. At this point, it was just real hard. But The Whirlwind.
Interesting.
Real tough to put it this low on the list because it's a masterpiece. But I had to unfortunately put it down there.
Wow. All right. That's very sadly, my original copy of The Whirlwind, I left in a rental car.
Ooh.
And I came back like 2 months later to listen to it. I opened it up and it hit me, and I was like, that sucked. It was a little while before I went and got it again, but obviously I was without it for a while. It's kind of sucked.
If we're talking bonus discs, I think this one had just a fantastic bonus disc as well.
Yes, I was going to mention that as well. Absolutely correct. There's several great tracks on it, and also great artwork too. They've always had great artwork on their stuff. Oh. My number 4 is Forevermore. Going back to this, I consider their 6th. I call it their 6th album, 2021, 90 minutes long. It's brilliant. I think from start to finish. The only issue I have with it is that it is so much. It's hard to sit. You and I, you have some young kids at home too, and I know you listen during your work day too, and so do I a little bit. But you're working. It's hard to dedicate 90 minutes to something.
It is.
Just listen, right?
It really is. So,
but it's really, really great. And this package that we have also has that 5-1 mix on it. This has got everything. So this is the best version to get of the Absolute Universe if you don't mind, lifting weights for a bit.
Oh yeah, it's.
But yeah, it is a great album, and if it is indeed their last album, they went out.
What do we go?
Yeah,
it's like Rush. They ended on a high one.
Agree. Totally agree. Well, what do you got for number 3?
Kaleidoscope. Love this one. I think Into the Blue and Kaleidoscope are among their best epics.
Wow.
I love those tunes. And like you said, Black as the Sky is really cool.
Yeah.
And the bonus disc, I have to go with the Yes cover, or the King Crimson cover.
Okay.
Love those two.
Yeah. Yeah, they could release those bonus albums as separate albums, and definitely they would do great on their own. There's phenomenal bonus material there. But yeah,
I have a problem. I'd buy them again.
That's part of the reason why we're talking right now. It's kind of like a support group for me. It makes me feel like there's other people out there.
You're not alone.
So I'm surprised. I got to say, because my number 3 is The Whirlwind, and I'm surprised because both you and I don't have it number 1. And this is, if you read, the forums and stuff online, this is widely considered to be the masterpiece from them. And I disagree. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Right.
I think it's the best overture that they did. It's so infectious, and it's emotional almost to listen to that overture.
That last track, just a religious experience.
Yeah,
obviously with Neil in the band, but
religious in more ways than one. Because I don't know if you're a religious guy necessarily.
Not really. I can be. I mean, Neil Morse is my favorite musician, so it's weird I'm not religious. But
I mean, he's up there for me too, and I'm certainly not religious. But yeah, I mean, it's called Dancing with Eternal Glory, so that kind of tells you right there, right?
yeah.
I thought for me personally, the only two criticisms of this, number one is, Neil Morse, as great as he is, and we both hold him in very high regard. If there is a knock out there, it's that he can be a little samey. That there is times where you'll hear the first note and you go, "That's Neil Morse," and you can almost hum along with it for the first time listening to it because
Oh,
you know what's coming.
yeah, it's kind of formulaic sometimes, but
Yeah,
it's not
formulaic.
always a bad thing.
No. He's no. I wish everybody was that formulaic, that good.
The man
I
knows
rather
what he's
not
doing.
try to reinvent himself every album. But this kind of the beginning of this sometimes does. But then, I mean, A Man Can Feel, Out of the Night, Rose-Colored Glasses. Forget about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's brilliant. And then for me, Dancing with Eternal Glory is a little bit too preachy, even for Neil, a little bit. I understand what you're saying, religious. I mean, it takes you home. All of his endings take you home, when those grandiose endings.
Yeah, I think it's the vocal melodies just amazing on that track. I think I just love his vocals there.
A master, he really is. But you're right about what you said earlier with the bonus disc. A Salty Dog, Procol Harum, the brilliant Soul Sacrifice, the instrumental from Santana on the bonus disc, and the I Need You Beatles America thing is incredible. This is definitely the best bonus disc of all. I think we agree on that. And the artwork.
For me, it's For Such a Time, which is a very preachy ballad, but again, for some reason, it just hits me.
Well, that one was that's a Transatlantic original, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, just didn't
but
make the proper album.
yeah, and it had kind of the same melodies as part of the proper album. So I wonder if it was like a cutting room floor thing on that one.
Good
It
question.
seems to share some of the same melodies as the main disc. So
Yeah, that's cool. Well, we're at number 2. What do you got?
Breath of Life.
All right.
Can't stop playing this one. I love this. I think what Neil did was just so, I don't know, groundbreaking. Not a lot of bands have the guts to pull something like that off. Changed a lot of the vocal arrangements, added songs, removed songs. Instrumentally, it's different. It's really interesting how he did that. And for some reason, I just like the Neil cut better than I guess the other one was Royna's cut.
Yeah.
I just enjoy that one more.
Cool.
But like you said, I don't have 90 minutes to just stick. So that might be my problem.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I think Portnoy has a lot to do with all that sequencing and all that too. Apparently he has got a lot of input with that aspect of the Absolute Universe as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So my number 2 is the debut. We're gonna have the same number 1 on this one, Rob. No
Yeah,
doubt. This could have been number 1. This is, I mean, like I said, the first time you heard it was like, for me, it was like hearing Appetite for Destruction for the first time, or one of those groundbreaking albums that changed the course of music. This thing was like, holy crap. And I knew Portnoy was in the band. I never heard of Neil Morse when this came out in 2000. I'd never heard of him. So it was my first exposure to him. You can imagine, like, the first time you hear Neil and you just go, what? My life's about to change completely.
Oh, yeah. I was following Spock's beard, so
I
knew of him and Mike. I didn't really know Marillion or Flower Kings at the time, but
so this is my first Neil. Yeah, I mean, that when we get to Neil Morse at some point, I want to hear your story about how you found Neil Morse for the first time. This is my first exposure to him. And I think this would be number 1 and we already talked about Procol Harum twice with The Salty Dog and Conquistador, but In Hell Twas is 17 minutes. I think if they had removed that, maybe put it on a bonus disc and added something else original to this, it could have been number 1 for me.
Oh,
it's that good. I skipped the last song. I don't love it. I mean, that's just me. I just don't love it. Richard and I he loves it. So,
yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, can't wait for the disc to come out this year so that we can hear a live version of it. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, that'd be very cool. But yeah, the debut finishes at number 2. So go ahead. We know what number 1 is. We're going to agree on this one. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Bridge Across Forever. My absolute favorite album of all time. No album is better for me than this. And I'm a big Rush guy. Rush is my favorite band. This is my favorite album.
Wow.
I think I blame Stranger in Your Soul. No matter how many times I hear that song, still get goosebumps every time.
Yeah, and they pull it off live too. It's just as powerful in a live setting. Yeah, man. I mean, I obviously we're on the same page on this one. This is, it falls short from being my favorite album of all time. It's definitely a top 20. And the bookend, Duel of the Devil, Stranger in Your Soul, just spine tingling. I totally agree with you. Sweet Charlotte Pike with its brilliant Beatle melodic.
Yeah, that's great stuff there.
It is really amazing. And what are you gonna say?
The bonus disc with "Shine On You Crazy Diamond." Best Pink Floyd cover I think I've ever heard.
Wow,
just phenomenal.
I will go on the record and say I don't know that. I don't think I do. I don't even think I have that bonus
I don't.
disc.
I never had the bonus disc, but it's out there. You can listen to it.
I don't feel like such a loser for not having it.
Yeah, it just, when it came out, I didn't have that kind of money to spare, and now it's expensive.
And when it came out, by the way, this came out like a month after 9/11.
Yeah, it was right on the heels, I think.
It was a rough time in the country. I mean, this was, oh my God. I'm just reading the back of this now, and those 4 tracks, and just like I want to put it on as soon as we're done with this video.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah, but it is a modern day classic. There's no doubt it's a modern progressive rock absolute classic. And the artwork is insane. The artwork on all of them is crazy, but
yeah,
this
they're
one
good.
Just awesome. Wow. So we on the first one, after I give my intro about how we're different on our rankings, we agree on the very first video that we do. But yeah, Bridge Across Forever is indeed the best, in my opinion, the #1 Transatlantic, and we agree on that.
Well, go back to Kaleidoscope. That's Portland's favorite, from what I've read too. So, so we even disagree with the drummer.
Wow, that's very interesting, because he obviously it means a lot. Do you know what Royna's favorite is?
I'm gonna guess the first one.
Yeah,
I think he demoed. I know he did My New World. I'm betting the first one, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Good, phenomenal musicians. Four of the most incredible we've seen in the modern day rock. All right. Well, that's for us on this first video. I appreciate everybody out there listening. This is our trial run. Hopefully this works. If you do like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Obviously, the bell notification would be nice. You can be notified of when we come out with our next videos. We're going to be trying to be doing them every week or so, going through different discographies, getting more challenging as we go. And yeah, looking forward to doing this again real soon, buddy.
Yep, looking forward to it too.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.